Alicent's plot to steal the throne. What she hid from the realm. In the deadly Game of Thrones, it is often the sword that takes the blame. But sometimes, it is the whisper in the dark, the soft hand on the king's shoulder, that changes history forever. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you love House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and deep dives into Westerosi lore. Let's begin. While the dance of the dragons scorched Westeros with fire and blood, its true spark may not have been lit on the battlefield, but in a queen's private chamber. This is the hidden story of Alicent Hightower, the woman who reshaped succession, betrayed the crown, and plunged the Targaryen dynasty into civil war. Today, we uncover the truth Alicent hid from the realm. This is Alicent's plot to steal the throne. A queen's beginning. Let us begin at the beginning, not with fire, but with calculation. Alicent Hightower, daughter of Ser Otto Hightower, Hand of the King, was raised in the halls of power. Smart, composed, beautiful, quietly observant. At just 15, she was sent by her father to comfort King Jaehaerys in his final days, reading to him, soothing him, learning courtly influence. But it wasn't long before Otto redirected her charm toward a greater prize, King Viserys I. Following the death of Viserys' first wife, Aemma Arryn, Otto pushed Alicent into the grieving king's company. What began as quiet companionship blossomed into a royal marriage, one Otto had planned all along. Alicent became queen of the Seven Kingdoms. But the crown was only the beginning. The rivalry is born. Alicent entered the Red Keep already behind. King Viserys had named his daughter Rhaenyra Targaryen as heir to the Iron Throne, a public and official declaration. The lords of the realm had bent the knee to her. Rhaenyra was the realm's delight. Alicent played the role of loyal stepmother, smiling, observing, always watching. But behind the courtesies, resentment brewed. When Alicent began bearing Viserys' sons, first Aegon, then Helaena, Aemond, and Daeron, she and Otto believed the line of succession should shift. After all, why should a girl sit the Iron Throne over a king's son? To Alicent, Rhaenyra wasn't just a stepdaughter, she was an obstacle. Sowing seeds of division. Alicent began to subtly undermine Rhaenyra at every turn. At court, she promoted a different image of womanhood, modesty, piety, duty. Rhaenyra was painted as indulgent, reckless, proud. The queen would publicly scold her, cast doubt on her virtue, and emphasize the legitimacy of her own children. Behind closed doors, the Green faction began to take shape. Otto Hightower resumed his post as Hand of the King. Houses like Lannister, Baratheon, and Hightower leaned toward Alicent's children. Knights and stewards were carefully placed throughout the court. Every smile was calculated. Every favor a move on the chessboard. By the time Viserys grew old and ill, the Red Keep was already a nest of vipers. And Alicent held the dagger behind the curtains. The king's final words, a twisted truth. Viserys, ailing and drugged, spent his final years drifting in and out of lucidity. In his final moments, he spoke of Aegon the Conqueror's dream, a prophecy passed down from king to heir. But in a tragic twist, he thought he was speaking to Rhaenyra. Instead, he spoke to Alicent, calling out to Agen, referring to a future Targaryen who must unite the realm. Alicent, either confused or calculating, took this as a final change of heart. She emerged from the king's deathbed claiming that Viserys wanted her son, Aegon, to be king. Was it a misunderstanding? Or a lie Alicent had waited her whole life to tell? Either way, she acted swiftly and secretly. The Green Council, a silent coup. Viserys was dead. But rather than announce his passing, Alicent and Otto did something unforgivable. They locked the doors, confined the servants, and convened a secret meeting of the Green Council. Only a few members objected, and those who did were eliminated. Lord Beesbury, Master of Coin, was killed on the spot for challenging the plan. Sir Criston Cole, Alicent's enforcer, executed justice in her name. The plan was clear. Hide the king's death. Find and crown Aegon. Eliminate Rhaenyra before she learns the truth. The realm would wake up to a new king, without ever being given a choice. Crowning Agen, the Dragon Pit ceremony. Aegon, Alicent's son, was not a natural leader. He was indulgent, reluctant, and unprepared. But Alicent pushed forward. After a desperate manhunt through King's Landing to even find her son, she staged a grand coronation in the Dragon Pit, complete with Viserys' crown and the Valyrian steel sword Blackfire. The crowd was forced to cheer. It was a manufactured moment, a coronation not of joy, but of political necessity. But then, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, atop her dragon Meleus, burst through the floor, a silent accusation in fire and fury. She could have ended it all right there. But she flew away. And the dance of the dragons was about to begin. The lies she told. Publicly, Alicent claimed she acted on Viserys' dying wish. Privately, she knew the truth was far more complicated. She hid the intentional suppression of the king's death, the execution of dissenters during the Green Council, the false interpretation of the prophecy to serve her agenda, the plot to kill Rhaenyra, which she ultimately failed to stop. Even as war consumed the realm, Alicent played the grieving mother, the pious queen, the protector of the realm. But the blood spilled from her decisions haunted every corner of Westeros. She had lit the fuse. Now, the realm burned. Mother of monsters, her children unleashed. Alicent's legacy was not just her schemes, but her children. Aegon II, the cruel and broken king, was known for drunkenness, violence, and paranoia. Aemond, with his sapphire eye, was vengeful and unpredictable, his dragon Vhagar the instrument of horrors. Helaena, Alicent's only daughter, suffered immense psychological torment, eventually taking her own life. Daeron, the youngest, was groomed as a weapon of war. Alicent had raised rulers, but in doing so, she unleashed weapons. These were not wise kings or queens. They were products of manipulation, forged in resentment, and hardened in blood. The queen who lost everything. As the war turned against the Greens, Alicent's power crumbled. Her sons waged war without her control. Her allies fell. Her family, so carefully built, was torn apart. Rhaenyra's son Lucerys was killed by Aemond. Rhaenys died in battle. Daemon and Aemond killed each other above the god's eye. Rhaenyra was betrayed and fed to Sunfire. Helaena was lost to grief. And eventually, Aegon II was poisoned by his own council. Alicent had won the throne for her line, only to watch that line collapse under its own corruption. The prisoner in Red Keep. In the end, Alicent was left a widow, a traitor, and a prisoner. Her schemes had succeeded, briefly. Her son had worn the crown, but she had lost everything that mattered. Confined to her chambers in the Red Keep by Rhaenyra's surviving son. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the hidden history of Alicent Hightower and her role in the Targaryen Civil War. Was she a villain, or a victim of her time? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and Westeros lore content. Until next time, beware the queen who smiles softly, because her dagger is always closer than you think.